She already knows in the first 3 seconds. Before you speak, before you smile, before you even understand what you're feeling. She knows. A hug is never just a hug. It is a psychological exchange. A silent negotiation of power, safety, desire, and emotional depth. And most men destroy attraction in that single moment because they don't understand what they are really communicating through touch. You think it's about where you place your hands. It's not. It's about who you are when you place them there. When you hug a woman, her nervous system reads you before her mind does. Her body scans for tension, neediness, insecurity, dominance, calmness, control. This isn't poetry. It's biology. The human brain processes touch through the limbic system, the same system responsible for emotional memory and attachment. That means your hug doesn't just feel physical to her. It feels emotional. It feels psychological. And if you don't control yourself, she will feel that too. Most men hug with hunger, subtle but desperate. Their hands grip too tightly. They pull too fast. They lean too much of their weight forward. They collapse into her body as if they're seeking reassurance. That energy says, I need you. Attraction doesn't grow in need. It grows in safety mixed with mystery. When you approach for a hug, your pace matters. Slow but not hesitant. Intentional but not forceful. You don't rush into her space. You let her body anticipate your movement. Anticipation activates dopamine. Surprise triggers adrenaline. But safety? Safety builds attachment. And attachment is where attraction deepens. Your arms wrap around her, but your chest remains grounded. Stable. You don't lean your entire emotional world into that moment. You hold your frame, your spine straight, your breath steady, because your nervous system regulates hers. If you are anxious, she feels it. If you are calm, she relaxes. And when a woman relaxes around you, her subconscious marks you as safe. In attachment theory, safety is the foundation of bonding, not excitement. Not chaos, safety. Now here is where most men misunderstand touch. They think attraction increases with more pressure, more squeezing, more physical closeness, but attraction shifts in micro movements. When you hug her, your hands should not wander with nervous curiosity. They should rest with certainty. The mid-back is neutral, safe, familiar. But if you want the hug to shift from friendly to intimate, the difference is subtle. It's not about moving lower. It's about slowing down. You hold her for 1 second longer than expected. Not awkward, not desperate, just enough to create tension. That extra second creates a question in her mind. Why did that feel different? The brain remembers what feels slightly unresolved, and that unresolved feeling lingers. Your hand placement remains respectful, but your touch becomes present. Instead of tapping her back quickly like you're ending a business meeting, you apply gentle pressure with your palm. Warm, grounded, confident, not rubbing, not grabbing. Just steady presence. Presence is power. When you pull away, you don't fully detach immediately. Your hands release slowly. Your eye contact holds for a fraction longer. This is where attraction changes. Not during the squeeze, during the separation. Psychologically, the moment of withdrawal activates awareness. It makes her conscious of the connection that just happened. And if your energy was composed, self-contained, and emotionally centered, that awareness becomes curiosity. Curiosity becomes desire. But here's the part most men ignore. If your self-worth depends on her reaction, she will feel that too. Women are highly attuned to incongruence. If you try to act confident while internally hoping she validates you, your micro-expressions betray you. Your breathing shifts. Your muscles tense. Your hug becomes a request instead of a statement. Attraction fades when touch feels like a request. It deepens when touch feels like an offering. You don't hug her to get something. You hug her because you choose to. That psychological distinction changes everything. There is something powerful about a man who can touch without clinging, who can hold without trapping, who can step back without collapsing. That signals emotional security. And emotional security is rare. Let me tell you something most people won't say openly. A hug can trigger attachment responses. If she has anxious tendencies, she may crave longer contact. If she leans avoidant, she may stiffen slightly before softening. Your job is not to manipulate those patterns. Your job is to remain grounded regardless of them. Mental strength shows in restraint. If she melts into you, you don't tighten possessively. If she pulls away quickly, you don't chase with your hands. You stay centered, balanced, unreactive. That calmness creates polarity. Because strength without aggression feels magnetic. You see, the female nervous system responds deeply to embodied confidence. Not loud dominance, not forced masculinity, but controlled physical presence. When your hand rests firmly yet gently between her shoulder blades, you are communicating leadership without words. The upper back is psychologically symbolic. It's a vulnerable zone. When you hold it with steadiness, you signal protection. But protection only feels attractive when it doesn't feel possessive. and possession is felt through tension. So relax your grip, breathe through your nose, let your exhale slow down. This is not about technique. It's about state. A man who is internally chaotic cannot fake grounded touch. She will sense the rush in your heartbeat, the slight tremor in your arms, the impatience in your pull. But a man who has healed his insecurities touches differently. His hands don't search for reassurance. They offer calm. There's another subtle layer here. Timing. If the hug happens after laughter, emotional vulnerability, or shared silence, its impact multiplies. Emotional priming amplifies physical connection. The brain links touch to the emotion preceding it. So if she felt seen, understood, or challenged intellectually just before you hug her, that physical contact imprints deeper. Touch without emotional depth feels empty. Touch after connection feels electric. But here's the psychological insight most won't tell you. Attraction strengthens when a woman feels both safe and slightly uncertain at the same time. Safe in your stability, uncertain about your full emotional availability. During the hug, you give warmth. After the hug, you maintain your independence. You don't immediately text her about how much you loved it. You don't over-explain the moment. You let the silence breathe. That space allows her mind to replay the hug. Replaying creates attachment loops, and attachment loops create longing. Your detachment is not coldness. It is emotional discipline. You do not cling to moments. You experience them fully, then release them. This is what inner peace looks like in physical form. Let's talk about boundaries. Never slide your hands lower under the excuse of building attraction. If she wants that level of intimacy, it will unfold naturally over time. Forcing escalation destroys trust. And without trust, attraction becomes fragile and short-lived. True power is knowing you could escalate but choosing not to. That choice communicates self-control. Self-control communicates high value. When you hug her, your chin does not bury into her neck aggressively. Your head tilts slightly, giving her space to breathe. Physical space inside closeness paradoxically increases comfort. Comfort allows desire to surface organically. If she feels trapped, her amygdala activates stress response. If she feels free, oxytocin flows. Oxytocin is the bonding hormone. You want bonding, not compliance, and bonding cannot be rushed. There's something almost cinematic about a perfectly timed hug. The room fades, sound softens, you feel her body settle against yours. For a brief second, there is no performance. No words, just two nervous systems syncing. That synchronization is what you are really after. Not the physical sensation, the synchronization. But synchronization requires you to regulate yourself first. If you have not learned to sit alone with your own emotions, your hug will carry unspoken desperation. And desperation kills polarity. Heal first, touch second. Because the truth is, you cannot create attraction through touch alone. You can only amplify what already exists. If she respects you, admires you, feels emotionally safe with you, then your hug becomes transformative. If she doesn't, no hand placement will save it. And that's where most men lose themselves. They obsess over tactics instead of becoming someone worthy of that moment. You want her to feel something different when you hug her? Become different. When you walk into a room, your posture communicates story. Your silence communicates confidence. Your eye contact communicates stability. All of that builds before your arms ever wrap around her. The hug is just the confirmation. And here's something subtle but powerful. After you release, step back half a step. Not fully away, just enough to create space. Look at her calmly. Let there be a breath of stillness. That micro-pause creates tension without effort. Tension fuels attraction, but it must be clean tension. Not awkwardness, not forced seduction. Clean tension comes from emotional clarity. You know what you feel. You are not chasing. You are not begging. You are not proving. You are simply present. And presence is rare. In a world of distracted minds and restless energy, a grounded hug feels unforgettable. She may not even consciously understand why it felt different. But later that night when she's alone, her body will remember the steadiness of your hands. The way you didn't rush. The way you didn't linger inappropriately. The way you let go without hesitation. Letting go is powerful. It shows abundance. It shows you are not afraid of loss. And paradoxically, when you are not afraid to lose, people feel more drawn to stay. That is the deeper psychology at play. Attraction is not created by squeezing tighter. It is created by being emotionally untouchable while physically close. Not cold, not distant, just internally solid. If you feel the urge to hold her longer because you fear the moment ending, notice that. That awareness alone will transform how you touch. Attraction thrives when your actions come from wholeness, not lack. You are not hugging to fill a void. You are hugging because connection is natural. There is a difference, and she will feel it. In the end, the most powerful hug is the one that communicates. Without words, I am here, I am grounded, I choose this moment, and I do not need it to survive. That message shifts something deep inside her, not instantly dramatic, not explosive, but quietly unforgettable. So the next time you wrap your arms around her, remember this. It's not about the hands, it's about the man behind them. And when you finally understand that, your touch will no longer chase attraction, it will embody it. And sometimes the most magnetic thing you can do after a hug is nothing at all.